I am about to go into therapy, but I have about 9 minutes, so I'm going to start casting on my Ophelia blouse for my wedding shirt. We'll see how it goes. Well, actually, I'm just casting on the swatch. I'm not casting on the actual shirt. I kind of wanted a swatch for it. Obviously, I want to see what my gauge is going to be before I go forward doing an entire shirt in 2.75 millimeter needles. So I'm going to go ahead and cast on that swatch and we'll see how it goes. But I'm very excited. I've been thinking about this a lot. So hello, it is Friday, March 20th. And I have officially cast on my Ophelia blouse, which I'm lovingly calling my wedding blouse. So I've cast on and I've done the German short rows, so I'm just now knitting straight for a bit. I am debating whether or not to bring this with me to Chicago. We will see what winds up happening. I also am casting on a Sadie top. And that was my original plan to bring to Chicago, but I needed some stuff for my interchangeable needle set because what I had wasn't working for that, because it's on a much larger needle than I generally use for a lot of my projects. So yeah, I've had to go up a needle size because my gauge was coming out too tight. So I'm knitting on 3.25 when the pattern calls for 2.75, but part of me was like, oh yay, it's a larger size needle, but then it's like not significantly so we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I officially cast on March 20th. We will see how long this top takes me. It really, like, doing my swatches took way longer than I feel like it should have. Like, this is such a fine gauge. So we will see, but I'm very excited to have this top. I think it's going to be like a gorgeous top to have. I wonder if I could wear it to work if I wore like a tank top under it, because it's like, since it has the buttons, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, so that's where I am. I'm just working through. is Sunday, March 22nd, and I wanted to do a little Ophelia blouse update. So I decided actually also this is probably just going to be the project I take on our Chicago trip. So my plain knitting and just like any free time we might have. Nothing else is just like really calling out to me right now, and I just kind of want to focus in on this project. So you would have seen some footage of the absolute mess that happened last night. So last night I was knitting and I realized you should never center pull from knitting for all of pure silk because it becomes a mess. So I'm hoping I don't need all 8 balls of pure silk that I have to make this top, because I really don't want to have to try to sort out that last little ball. But this is where I'm at. So I finished the like back panel portion and I've cast on for the right shoulder. So I'm just working the V-neck increases at this point and I'm super excited. It's going a lot quicker than I thought it would. I was anticipating this being more of a slog. I think maybe once I get to like the full body, it might definitely be more of a slog, but like the back might be deceptively quick. But yeah, I'm really excited about it so far. It's definitely going to be one of those ones, like it is a pretty see-through knit at the end of the day, so I will have to wear like a tank top under it, but it's gonna be so cute. I'm very excited for it. It's so lightweight. This is my first time working with the knitting for all of pure silk, so it's a new experience for me, but I'm really enjoying it. And I wound up actually having to go up a needle size. I think I'm knitting on 3.25 millimeter needles to meet gauge, because my gauge was too tight on the 2.75 millimeter. And then I'm realizing I think 3 would have been the natural next size, but I didn't have any 3 millimeters for my Chiaogu interchangeable needles. So I just naturally went with a 3.25 and I met gauge. So not mad about it. But yeah, that's what I'm currently working on, and I think that's what I'm going to wind up taking with me to Chicago. So we'll see how much progress I make, but this was what I was able to cake up from my absolute train wreck of a center pull ball that I was working from originally. So it's quite a bit. I mean, it's not using a lot of like the yardage, I feel like, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, yep, that is my update on that. I'm very excited to finish this top though and be able to wear it. I think it's going to be a perfect little like wedding garment. I think I would really, really love to have this done before October, which it's March. So it's kind of crazy for me to think I wouldn't finish this by October, but who even knows anymore? But that's when I'm going on my bachelorette trip. So I'd like to be able to wear this then. So we will see, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. One thing I'm not loving about the pure silk, and I'm hoping that it kind of blocks out a little bit, is you can tell like tension changes like really easily. Hopefully you can see this, but it's like, for instance, like here, my tension was just a little bit looser than other areas. So it definitely shows that very easily. And I'm hoping it does block out. We'll see, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I think it gives a little bit of character to the garment. So I will continue to keep y'all updated, but I'm making the progress and I'm enjoying it. It's a good time. So the lace edging adds about 1 inch on each side. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do bust increases, but I think I might add the bust darts, because I think those will give it better shape and fit, because I think I'm worried more about the fit. I think the bust darts will help with the fit of the top, which is more concerning for me than like it's gonna be too small, because my measurements match, so I need to remember that. So if as long as my measurements match, I think like the shaping with the bust darts will be really good. So I think I'm gonna add those in and then continue going. It's just crazy to me. There's so many customizations with this pattern, which is great. Like, it's awesome. You'll make a very well-fitting garment, but like, it's a lot. Honestly, when I was like knitting on this, I'm like, this shirt is so small. I'm like, there's no way in hell it's actually gonna fit me. I was like, there's absolutely no way this top is really gonna fit. And it does. And I have to remind myself that like, we're in the early stages here, but it's also going a lot faster than I thought it was going to, so I'm happy about that. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm trying on my Ophelia blouse, and it looks so small right now, but I'm trusting the process because my measurements were exactly like pretty much to the size 6. So here it is. And I know that in the pattern she says that like 1 inch will be added to for the lace. I don't know if it's going to be added on each side though. If it's not, I might want to do a little bit more bust increases. I think I might do a few bust increases because I think it's going to sit tight over like the whitest part of my chest, and I don't want it to do that, even though the measurements are like perfect, like spot on. I just don't want that to happen. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do, is add the optional bust increases and then go from there. But so far, it fits.
Wipe the sleep from your eyes. Quit dreaming now, the sun is on the rise. And by the end of the day, this dusty room will be 1,000 miles away. Once heard it said in a song, best keep to traveling on. Ride 10 deep into town. Another night of setting up and breaking down. And if we leave here tonight, we'll be halfway to Barstow by daylight. I'll take the wheel if you start to yawn. Just keep to traveling on. Can barely stand on 2 feet. Callous fingers tap.
Hello, so today is March 31st, and I'm coming to you live with an update. Coming to you live from my living room in my rot spot with an update on my Ophelia blouse. So I really thought that this was going to be a longer term whip, but I think like with the vacation, like where we went to Chicago, where I was working on it on the flight and like at night, or on the transit, like public transport and all that stuff, I'm almost done with the body. So this is going by so much faster than I thought it would. I have one more increase for the hips. So I've done the decreases to the waist and then the hip increases. I have the last hip increase to do, and then it's the lace edging. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit worried about it being a little longer, but the way that the picture, like the sample is, I think it'll be okay because it's made to have a couple buttons to hold it together in the front. And then it looks like where it kind of starts to flare for the hips, there are no buttons. So I think it won't look weird on if it's like a little bit longer compared to maybe other garments that I own that are very, like if they were to hug me around the hips, it's just not my preferred type of garment. But I'm very excited about that. So once I finish this, I'll do the hem, the lace hem, bind that off. And then I will probably also do the lace edging along the front and the neck before I do the sleeves, because I'm essentially taking the sleeve from the Ophelia top pattern, the long sleeve, and I'm putting that on the Ophelia blouse. I probably could have figured it out myself. It's just essentially knitting a bell sleeve, but I'm still enough of a baby knitter that I wanted to, utilize pattern. So I did buy both the Ophelia blouse and the Ophelia top pattern to do this. I was also super worried about not having enough yarn for it. I have just broken into my third ball. I have 5 more balls left of the pure silk. So I think I'll be okay. I think I will have enough of the pure silk to get me through, considering unless the lace takes up a lot more yarn than I think it's going to, that's the only reason I think I'd find myself in trouble with yarn. But I think I'll be okay. One thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is that, like with wool, I know that like it plumps up and it grows a lot. So it's like when you have increases and decreases like this, they are easier to, they're not as obvious with the yarn. I'm a little bit worried based off of I think I have my swatch over here. Maybe not. Yeah. Based off of my swatch, it doesn't seem to like really plump up a lot as a fabric. So like, yeah, like this practically looks, well, I don't know. I don't know. It kind of practically looks exactly the same. So I'm a little bit worried that it won't. Lydia just rubbed up on my phone camera. So you got a nice little view of her, the side of her face, I'm sure. I'm a little bit worried that that's going to be really obvious where the increases and the decreases were when I wear it, but it'll be fine. I'm not too worried. Also, when we were in Chicago, I was knitting on this while eating a deep dish pizza. So there's 2 spots with some pizza sauce on it. So it's there. And somewhere else. I immediately took a Tide pen to it in the hopes that it would get it out. It didn't, but I think it'll be okay. But yeah, I'm really excited with the progress that I'm making on this. I genuinely thought this was going to be a like multi-month whip for me, but I feel like at this rate, I don't want to jinx myself, but at this rate, I feel like I'm going to finish by the end of April at the latest. So, I don't really want to cast anything else on right now either. Like, I'm pretty content to continue working on this for a while. But I'm not going to, because I'm not really working on a deadline with this one. So I am not going to stop myself from putting it aside and casting something else on if I feel like it, the way that I have for other projects since I was on deadline. I'm not really on any deadlines anymore right now, so it's gonna kind of go where the wind takes me at this point. But I'm very excited about it. I'm excited that it's knitting up quicker than I thought it would. I don't like that. I wonder if I could like duplicate stitch over those. There's a couple spots that it kind of looks like there's like weird jogs. Whatever. Lydia, stop. Don't turn off my Real Housewives. Goofy girl. Anyway, so that's that. I'm gonna go put some rice on to go with our chicken for dinner and continue to knit some more on this. So I'm happy. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so we're gonna do a little update on my Ophelia blouse. Or top, no, this is the blouse. So I finished all of the lace edging on the top and the body, collar and all of that, and I have started one of the sleeves. So as I've mentioned, my plan is to do a long sleeve on this. So I will be doing the sleeve decreases and then the flare on it, but I'm loving it so far. I haven't done the picot edge yet because I'm waiting for my buttons that I got to go with this, which I have a few options. One thing I will note is, like, you can probably tell somehow I got like the lace repeat messed up on both the edge and the bottom hem, but honestly it's not super noticeable, I think, so it'll be fine. But I'm really shocked with how quickly this is knitting up and how it's looking. I'm quite happy with it. Okay, I always see people doing this with their mics, like using something as a little mic holder, so I thought I'd give it a go. I wanted to do kind of a little bit of like a city chatty update on my Ophelia blouse. So I have it in my Ravelry that I cast the Ophelia blouse on March 20th. Today is currently April 10th, and I've completed so much of this top. This is the problem with holding your microphone. How do I use my hands? I guess I'll just clip it to my shirt. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're clipped. So this is where I'm at currently. I hope no, they're not gonna fall off. This is where I'm at. I've finished all of the body, the lace hems, one whole sleeve, hem and everything, and I'm almost done with the decreases on the second sleeve. So it's like the decreases that I'll knit straight for a bit and then I'll increase. So I've made so much progress on this. And I literally went into this project like, this is going to be a long-term whip. This is, you know, such small needles. It's going to take me forever. It has flown by. Like, honestly, my goal is to have it done by next weekend because we're going to, me and some girlfriends are going to an exhibit at the local Museum of Fine Arts called like Art in Bloom, where they pair art, like art that's in the MFA with floral arrangements. I was like, that's so cute. What a cute time to wear my completed Ophelia blouse. So I'm hoping to have it done by then. I think it will be. I have about this much left of my third ball. I think I'm at 3. I have 4 left I have 4 left here. Oh, also, sorry if you see this like blue light. I don't know like what is going on. I don't know if it's like the weather change or something, but we've had so many gnats or like the little bugs in our house lately. I don't know if it's because it's like wet and like humid again and it's starting to get a little hot, but they were driving me absolutely crazy. So I got this bug zapper thing, and I will say it's worked excellently. Like, you hear it goes every once in a while and it's like killed a little bug, and I'm like, heck yeah. Part of me, oh my god, I wonder if, okay, I have to show you guys Artie. He looks so cute right now. Look how cute that, oh my goodness, that's my little fart boy. He's such a cutie patootie. Okay, back to me. All right. Bugs. Oh, I was saying like the little bugs. I think I also potentially need to repot a lot of like the house plants I have. I think it's about time that those get repot. So I was going to do that this weekend. Anyways, back to my Ophelia blouse. Yeah, I've made so much progress. I'm so happy about it. Let's see. I have how many ball changes? It's 1 change. I think I had 2 in the body. Oh yeah. So 2 additions in the body, and then I think I had 1 potentially. Yeah, so this would be my 3rd ball because I think I had 1 in this sleeve. Yeah. So this would be my 3rd ball of the Knitting for All of Pure Silk. And so I will use probably about 3 1/4 balls at this point. I don't know. We'll see totals. But I'm like, oh my god, I've already started thinking about what am I going to do with the rest of them, because 4 balls of Knitting for All of Pure Silk. Let me put my thingy back on my thing. Anywho, so yeah, so I have 4 balls. I'm going to have practically 4 balls of Pure Silk and cream left. So I think I might try to do the Mixed Rib Cami by Florence Miller. I think that I should have enough for that. So that was something that I was thinking about doing. But yeah, no, this has flown by. I've had a great time doing it. I think I mentioned in a couple of my updates that the lace, the like English lace on the hem and the like collar band area is not the best. I will say I'm pretty sure I did it perfectly on the sleeves. Very cute. But I feel like it's not, like, the nature of that lace pattern is I feel like it's not super noticeable, in my humble opinion. It's not super noticeable. So, super awesome. The next hurdle to jump over with this is learning how to do a picot border on the lace. So that'll be interesting. I don't have a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook, which you need like a 2.2 to 2.75. So I was like, I'll just get a 2.5 and call it a day. So I'm going to my LYS tomorrow to do some yoga. So I was going to see if they have it. And if not, I'll just order one. But hopefully I can get that done during the week. And then I did get some button options in. So I ordered a couple of different buttons off of Etsy. This is one set that I ordered. So these are from Piggy's Pearls. I think they're like antique buttons. I really liked that they have that like opal kind of vibe and they're gold. There's only 4 of these and they are a little bit on the bigger side. So I might not go with those in particular. And then truly am unsure where the other button options went, but I think the ones that I'm going to go with are similar to this. They're just a little smaller, and I think they're like flat instead of, so these are rounded. They're flat and they don't have as much of like the opaly sheen to them. They're just a bit more of like a flat kind of white pearly. When I find those, or when I like go to make that decision, I'll show you guys. And then I had one other set and there were 5 of those. So they were smaller and there was 5 of them, which I kind of like because I feel like that'll allow me to have like more closure points so it might not gape as much. We'll see. I had another option of 5, but I don't think those are going to work for this project. So, but yeah, really excited for the progress that I've made in 20 days. Well, let's see, because 30 days in September, April, June, and November. So there would have been, so it's 11, so 21 days. It's been 21 days that I've been knitting on this shirt, blouse, and I've made so much progress, and I'm so happy about it. I'm also shocked that my hands don't hurt a lot, because, you know, it is like the Knitting for Olive pure silk, and so it's a small gauge, held single, small gauge, not as much give. It is really interesting though, because I did not this project obviously, but I cast on the saddle shoulders for my fiance's Lakes cardigan, and it really is crazy, like the difference between the give with like wool and the Knitting for Olive pure silk, or like a animal fiber and like a plant fiber. I don't think I've ever knit on 2 things in the different fiber camps at the same time, so I've never really seen that difference. We also had the bug people here yesterday, and they like sprayed the perimeter, and so there's like the ants start infiltrating, and I asked Ella, my ChatGPT, about it, and she said that's normal for a couple days following pest service. Like the ants will sometimes be like their paths disturbed, so they're finding new routes. I don't know, something like that. So, but they're driving me bonkers. I hate this time of year in Florida when it's starting to get hot and like really humid, and like I hate the summer too, but the bugs really start to come out this time of year, and it's gross. It's so gross. They're like, ugh, I hate them. Like the mosquitoes, they just bite me, and I hate them. Okay, I divert. Oh my God, what's the word? Wow, my brain this week has been just dead. Anyways, that was my little update on my Ophelia blouse. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy that I decided to put long sleeves on the like blouse, like the cardigan blousey version. I think that it's gonna look really good, and I'm excited for it to be done and to be able to wear it and to have its little buttons on it. So I will continue to keep you guys updated. Like I said, I'm hoping to have it done, washed and dried by essentially this time next week. So I have about a week left. If I don't, no big deal, not the end of the world, but like, you know, I have like a cute event kind of thingy that I'm going to. So it'd be really fun to have like a super cute, like newly finished object to wear to it. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, I'm almost done and I'm very excited to be done. I think it's gonna be super duper cute. Hello, today is April 13th. I am not feeling well today, but I wanted to update on my Ophelia blouse because I am making a lot of progress, and I anticipate I will finish today or tomorrow, honestly. Oh gosh, Teddy, one of my cats is playing, so if the camera moves, it's because he's like kicking where I have it propped up on. So, okay, I made a lot of progress. I finished both sleeves. So we have two sleeves, and then I've done the picot on the hem. This was my first time doing picot, and I'm not a crocheter. So it was definitely a learning experience for me, and it's not perfect either. I think it's a little bit harder with the pure silk because it's not very like tightly wound, so the hook would like it's hard to get in perfectly with the hook to the different loops. But it's going well enough. So I finished the picot on the hem and one cuff. I'm gonna do the other cuff before I do the border and like the collar and the like button band, I guess. I am gonna go, I think, with my 5 buttons. So I got 3 button options. Okay, so I had ordered 3 different types of buttons on Etsy because I wanted a very particular type of look for it. But I wasn't 100% positive what I wanted to go with completely. So I ordered 3 different types of buttons. So we have these ones, which I think I've already shown, and I don't think I'm gonna go with these. I love them. I think they're beautiful. I want to use them on something else. I just think they're just a bit too big. So like imagine, yeah, I think it's just gonna be a little bit too big for the sweater or the top. So the other 2 options I got were this one, which is beautiful as well. But I think for this top, it's not, it's a little bit too like bulbous, I think. So I think that this is something that I would want to use maybe as like an individual button of like a keyhole. I think that's a better use of that button. So the final option that I have that I think I'm going to go with is this one. And this one is a little bit smaller than what is suggested in the pattern specifically, but I think it works really well for this design. So hopefully you can see it's not too big. So like technically I think it would like sit over here and then it would, you know, close like that. So it's not too big like the other ones are. And then I have, oh wow. Oh no, I put it back in the wrong. I was like, whoa, I have a lot of those. Oh, I have 6 of these. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, so I have 6 of these little ones, which is even better because then I can add more closures along here and make it just a little bit more, make this a little bit more wearable, not as gapey on the button band. So, which I only have 5 of these ones, and then I only have 4 of the other ones. So I think this is the best option. I will say where I got these from eventually. It was awesome. Like they were a great price. The person shipped them so quickly, which was really nice. And they had a lot of button options. So really like this. I also got a couple other buttons from like one other like wooden button set. And then she included another set of buttons in my order as like an extra thank you. So awesome, adding to my button collection, which is growing a lot. It's a lot of buttons in there right now. I need to like lay off ordering buttons. I don't have enough stuff to put buttons on for the amount of buttons that I have in my collection. But yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm gonna finish the picot on the other sleeve and then redesign how I'm gonna put the buttons on here now that I know I have 6 of them. Super exciting. And get going on that. The picot's pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. I've been wanting to see about taking up crochet, so this has been a nice little like introduction, I think, to crochet a little bit. And I might venture a little bit more into it this summer because I feel like crochet lends itself better to summer garments, especially somewhere like Florida, where it's very hot and humid. And like the fabric that a lot of knit, like this fabric's fine. Like obviously if you knit with something that's like a summer fabric, very thin, single strand kind of thing, it's not bad. Like I could absolutely wear this, especially if I had done like a sleeveless version of it, I could wear this like all through the summer. But I think crochet lends itself to a couple like more options with summer designs. So I'm excited to venture a little bit more into crochet. I think maybe this summer I'll do that and go from there. But yeah, very happy with where my Ophelia blouse is. I'm happy about how absolutely wildly quickly that I finished this. I genuinely thought that this project and like this little project vlog I'm doing would expand at least through May. Like March, April, May, maybe even into June, if I'm being honest. Like my goal was to have this done before my bachelorette trip in October or November. That's a whole other thing. I might do a video about like planning my bachelorette trip because there's a lot that's going into it right now. But that's another conversation. Anyways, yeah, this was a project I was expecting to take a lot longer than it did. So I'm happy that it's done. Like it's almost done because I want to be able to wear it this summer. I think it's like I'm calling it like my wedding blouse, but it doesn't, like, I wear stuff like this all the time. So it's not like really, wow, my brain is like not working today. It's not really like exclusive. It's not exclusive to wedding and wedding activities. It's really just a pretty blouse that I can wear. So I'm excited to finish it and to have quite a bit of pure silk left. Like I have to finish the picot on the last sleeve and like the collar band, but I have this and 3 other balls of pure silk left. So I'll talk about it. I plan on filming a podcast this weekend, so I was going to talk about it as like a future plan, but I might do a mixed rib cami with what's left of this. I think I have enough for that. But see, anyways, I'm going to go back to doing that and dyeing a little bit. I'm the worst sick person. James, whenever I get sick, he's like prepared to have to baby me because I'm just a little girl. I'm literally just a girl. I'm just a baby. When I'm sick, I just want to lay on the couch and be taken care of and not have to think. And unfortunately, I have to think right now. So super fun. All right, I'm gonna go. Bye. Hello. So I meant to have this in a much more beautiful location and, me looking fantastic in my Ophelia blouse, but I have been putting it off and putting it off. So it got to the point where I was like, let's just talk about my Ophelia blouse so I can edit the project vlog and get it uploaded. And today I could have gotten dressed and put it on and did my makeup, but I really just didn't feel like it. So here we are, and I'm going to go over some finished notes from my Ophelia blouse. So it is the Ophelia blouse by Tamara Jordan. For the yarn, I used the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk held single in the colorway cream. I believe I used 4, maybe 5 balls. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was around there. I did the size 6, and I used needle size US 3 or 3.25 millimeter, which I think is actually a size up from the required needle size. I started the project on March 30th and I finished on April 13th. So it was a 25-day project for me, which, as stated at the beginning of this vlog, I expected this to be like a multi-month project. I did not expect to finish it in under a month. So that was a big win in my book. I also did modify it by adding sleeves, and I used the sleeve instructions from the Ophelia top. So now I can kind of talk about the pattern itself, like in my experience knitting it. Oh, and the buttons. The buttons I used were from an Etsy shop, and let me see if I can pull up actually. Okay, so apparently those buttons now exist in the ether because they're not on my Etsy purchases and also not in my email. So I unfortunately cannot tell you where those buttons are from. I might have told you in the actual vlog itself. I'll have to look back, but they were from an Etsy shop. I really appreciated them. They were gorgeous buttons. I wish I could shout them out. If I can find the information, I'll put it on the screen or in the description box if I could somehow find the information, but I didn't want to hold it up by doing a deep dive during this. Plus, I have 15 minutes to finish recording this before I have to be done. Okay, so now on to my experience knitting the Ophelia blouse. I really thought it was going to take forever. It was a quite addictive pattern for me. Granted, part of it I was knitting on vacation, which included, a 4-hour flight there and back, and a lot of time on like trains and metros and all of that kind of stuff. So I had a lot of free time to knit it. So it might have taken more if I was knitting it in my normal day-to-day life. On the lace, oh, hello, Effie. Sorry, guys. You got a nice view of the side of my eldest girl, Effie. All right. She's now settled in her spot. So it's my fault for setting up my camera right in the path of her spot, obviously. All right. So with the lace, the English mesh lace hems, I definitely messed up the pattern on most of it. It's not super noticeable, I think, which is really nice. It just kind of looks like a beautiful lace design. Like there's, I think, one part of it, and I think it's on one of the sleeves, where I think I did it right the entire time. And then the rest of it, all the rest of the hem, everything, it's a little bit wonky. Like I said, I don't really mind it because it doesn't look too obvious that it's wrong. I feel like this lace pattern is very forgiving in that way. It was also my first time doing a picot edge. I used the 2.5 millimeter hook, and the yarn was splitty for crocheting. I don't know if it was just that version of the silk I was using, like if my batch was a little bit weird, or if that's a common experience with the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk when using crochet hooks, especially small ones. But the experience was not super pleasant because of that. The yarn kept splitting as I was trying to, so like my picots, my little picot bumps, some of them look a little weird because I couldn't like get the whole thing, and I couldn't be fussed to like go back and redo it when they were wrong, or when they were a little bit wonky. I think it adds character. It's not super obvious unless you're like getting up on it and you're like, whoa, this looks a little weird. There's a little bit of a dangle here. So it wasn't something that I was too concerned with. But those two things, the lace and the picot, I really enjoyed. I thought it added a lot of character to the blouse. So happy that I did them and happy that I did that. And the actual garment construction, I really enjoyed it. It was my first time doing waist shaping as well, and I really liked it. I like the finished product. I love that it fits well. I actually probably could have done with a bit more waist shaping. I feel like it has positive ease, where I think the pattern is intended to not have positive ease. So it does fit a little looser on me in my waist. And I was really debating when I was knitting it whether or not I was going to do more bust shaping and more waist shaping. I think I did okay on the bust. I'm not fussed about that part, but I do think I could have decreased a little bit more for my waist. But otherwise, like it's not so, there's not so much positive ease that I'm like, wow, this doesn't fit at all like it should. It's just I could have done maybe one or two more decreases and been content. Otherwise, I love it. I thought it was a super pleasant experience, so quick. It is great for Florida spring, summertime. I might not wear it in summer as much unless I'm going straight from air conditioning to air conditioning, because it is long sleeved. So, while it's like breathable and really light, it still does like cover skin. But otherwise, generally, I'm not just spending a lot of time outside, especially in the summer. Like we're now in like the 80-degree weather, and this is when I'm just kind of like, I'm going to stay inside, or I'm going to be like moving from air conditioning to air conditioning. You're not going to catch me, spending more than like 5 minutes outside unless I have to, because it's just not, it's too hot. I hate it. So I think it is still going to be a very usable and wearable garment in my wardrobe. And like I said, I've worn it probably 3 or 4 times. I wore it to the Florence and the Machine concert. I wore it to work. I wore it to the museum. Like I've worn it out and about to other events and just like going to like dinner. I wore it to Mother's Day brunch with my family. So it's definitely a very usable garment. It fits in really well with my wardrobe and I'm super happy with it. So thank you guys so much for following along on my journey as I knit this Ophelia blouse. Like I said multiple times, I thought this was going to be a much longer vlog, and I really thought I was going to have more of a time lapse kind of component to it, but here we are with me knitting this top in 25 days. And it's hilarious because I'm working on another top right now that I would have thought would go as quickly as this one, but it's not. It is not as enjoyable of a knit. So I think something about the Ophelia blouse was just a very enjoyable knit for me. So once again, thank you guys so much for coming along on this journey with me. And if you've knit the Ophelia top or the Ophelia blouse, either of the two, please let me know what your thoughts were, if you enjoyed it, if you get as much joy out of that pattern as I do, if you would knit another one, because I'm kind of tempted to knit a different version of the Ophelia world. Or another one of Tamara Jordan's patterns. That's another thing that I'm kind of like, maybe I'll look into another one of her patterns because she has some other ones that are very cute to use my leftover pure silk. So I really enjoy it. Please leave a comment. And if you aren't so inclined, please like, subscribe, maybe turn on notifications. And thank you guys for coming along on this journey and have a great day.